Have you ever wondered what makes Japan so unique? From its culture to its stunning landscapes, Japan captivates the imagination like no other country. But did you know that Japan also boasts some truly fascinating laws that might seem shocking to the rest of the world? In this video, we'll delve into 10 surprising laws that are perfectly okay in Japan, but illegal in other parts of the world. From quirky cultural customs to unexpected legal regulations, get ready to explore the legal landscape of Japan like never before. Number 10. Drinking in public areas. In Japan, sipping on a cold beer while strolling through a park or enjoying a picnic with friends is perfectly legal and socially acceptable. Unlike in many Western countries, such as the US and parts of Europe, where public drinking is often restricted or even prohibited, Japan takes a more relaxed approach to alcohol consumption in public spaces. Here, you'll find people unwinding after a long day at work by cracking open a can of beer while watching the sunset in a local park or sharing a bottle of sake during a cherry blossom viewing party. It's not just about the act of drinking itself, but also about fostering a sense of community and relaxation in public settings. While public intoxication and disorderly conduct may still be frowned upon, enjoying a drink responsibly in public is considered a normal part of social life in Japan. Number 9. Buying and consuming horse meat. In Japan, the consumption of raw horse meat, known as basashi, is not only legal but also considered a delicacy enjoyed by many. While it may sound unconventional to some, basashi has a long history in Japanese cuisine and is often served thinly sliced and accompanied by condiments like soy sauce and wasabi. However, in many other parts of the world, including the US and Europe, the consumption of horse meat, whether raw or cooked, is largely prohibited or highly restricted. There are several reasons for this disparity in attitudes towards horse meat consumption. One major reason is cultural and societal perceptions. In many Western countries, horses are commonly seen as companion animals rather than livestock. As such, the idea of consuming horse meat can evoke strong emotional reactions and is often considered taboo. This cultural aversion to eating horse meat has led to legal restrictions aimed at preventing its production and sale for human consumption. Yet, despite these differences in cultural attitudes and regulations, the consumption of raw horse meat remains a cherished culinary tradition in Japan, where both locals and adventurous visitors alike enjoy it. Number 8. Age of consent. In Japan, the legal age of consent has sparked significant debate and controversy, especially in recent times. At just 13 years old, Japan boasts one of the lowest ages of consent globally, a fact that raises eyebrows and prompts discussions around the world. The age of consent signifies the minimum age at which an individual is deemed capable of giving informed consent to engage in sexual activities. Surprisingly, this legal threshold has remained unchanged since its inclusion in the Japanese Penal Code in 1907, enduring for over a century without modification. However, this seemingly straightforward law also harbors some mysteriousness, leaving room for interpretation and discretion in certain circumstances. Despite the established national age of consent, there are instances where specific cases may introduce shades of gray, complicating matters further. Number 7. Marrying cousins. On a lighter note, Japan permits marriage between first cousins, a practice that may raise eyebrows in some parts of the world. While this law aligns with cultural norms in Japan, it contrasts sharply with regulations in other countries where such unions are prohibited. This law traces its origins back to Japan's Meiji period, enacted in 1898, and has since become an accepted aspect of Japanese society. In fact, the concept even has its term in Japanese, itokokan. Over the years, numerous prominent figures in Japan, including political leaders like the 56th Prime Minister, have entered into marriages with their first cousins. For instance, Japan's 56th Prime Minister, who happens to be the grandfather of a more recent Prime Minister, was married to his first cousin. Interestingly, this trend continued with subsequent Prime Ministers, with two of them also marrying their first cousins. This tradition has persisted partly due to the desire among families to maintain their wealth and resources within their familial lineage. Number 6. Flying drones in crowded areas. Flying drones in crowded urban areas is legal in Japan, a surprising allowance considering it is prohibited or heavily regulated in many other parts of the world. This leniency is a testament to Japan's forward-thinking approach to technology and innovation. While regulations exist to ensure safety and prevent disruption to public spaces, the Japanese government has implemented measures to accommodate drone enthusiasts. Pilots are required to adhere to certain guidelines, such as avoiding restricted airspace, maintaining a safe distance from buildings and people, and respecting privacy laws. However, it's important to note that there are exceptions and specific areas where drone flights may be restricted or prohibited altogether. For example, flying drones near airports, government buildings, military installations, and sensitive infrastructure is strictly prohibited due to security concerns. Number 5. Hiring fake family members. In Japan, it is legal to hire fake family members, a practice that might seem peculiar or even unethical in other parts of the world. This phenomenon, known as a rental family or family rental services, allows individuals to rent actors to pose as family members or various social or personal occasions. The concept of renting family members originated in response to societal pressures and expectations in Japanese culture, where family relationships and social status hold significant importance. In situations where individuals may feel judged or stigmatized for being single, divorced, or estranged from their families, renting family members offers a solution to navigate social gatherings, such as weddings, funerals, or holiday gatherings without facing scrutiny or feeling isolated. These rental family services typically offer a range of options, allowing clients to choose actors to play specific roles, such as parents, siblings, or even spouses. Number 4. Whale hunting. Whale hunting, also known as whaling, has a long history in Japan and has been a contentious issue both domestically and internationally. While many countries have banned commercial whaling due to conservation concerns and opposition from animal rights groups, Japan has continued to engage in whaling activities under certain exceptions. One of the primary exceptions allowing Japan to conduct whaling is scientific research. Japan has justified its whaling operations as scientific research conducted under the auspices of the International Whaling Commission, or IWC. Critics, however, have accused Japan of using this loophole to conduct commercial whaling under the guise of scientific research, as the meat from the whales is often sold for consumption. Number 3. Sleep in public places. Sleeping in public parks or on the streets is generally legal in Japan, although there are many specific regulations or local ordinances in certain areas. Japan is known for its relatively low crime rates and safe public spaces, which contributes to a more tolerant attitude towards activities such as resting or sleeping in public areas. One reason for the acceptance of sleeping in public spaces is the phenomenon of salarymen or office workers who may work long hours and occasionally find themselves in need of rest while commuting or during breaks. It's not uncommon to see individuals taking naps on benches or in parks during their lunch breaks or after work hours. Additionally, Japan's cultural emphasis on harmony and consideration for others plays a role in the acceptance of sleeping in public areas. As long as individuals do not disturb others or cause disruptions, they are generally allowed to rest in public spaces without interference from authorities. Number 2. Public nudity. Public nudity in Japan is a complex topic with varying cultural attitudes and legal regulations. While public nudity is generally not socially acceptable in most public spaces, Japan does have a few exceptions and cultural practices where nudity is more widely accepted. One example of public nudity in Japan is the practice of onsen, or hot spring bathing. Onsen are traditional Japanese baths that are often located outdoors and are known for their therapeutic and relaxation benefits. In many onsens, nudity is required, as bathing suits are not permitted. Another instance where public nudity is more accepted is during certain traditional festivals and rituals. For example, events such as the Hadaka Matsuri, or naked festivals, involve participants wearing minimal clothing or being partially or fully nude as a part of religious or cultural ceremonies. These events often attract large crowds and are considered an important part of Japan's cultural heritage. Number 1. Pachinko Gambling. Pachinko gambling is a popular form of entertainment in Japan that involves playing a mechanical pinball-like game for the chance to win prizes. including tokens or balls that can be exchanged for goods or cash. While pachinko itself is legal and widely accepted in Japan, gambling for cash prizes is technically illegal under Japanese law. The legality of pachinko gambling operates within a legal gray area due to a loophole in the Japanese Penal Code. Pachinko parlors are permitted to offer cash prizes in the form of tokens or balls, which can then be exchanged for goods or cash at separate businesses known as pachinko prize exchange centers. This exchange of tokens for cash skirts the gambling laws, allowing players to win cash prizes from their pachinko winnings indirectly. Despite the legal complexities, pachinko remains immensely popular in Japan, with thousands of parlors located throughout the country. Exploring the unique and sometimes surprising laws of Japan sheds light on the fascinating diversity of cultures and legal systems around the world. While some of these laws may seem unconventional or even shocking from a global perspective, they are deeply rooted in Japan's rich history, traditions, and societal norms. If you liked the video, subscribe to our channel for more exciting explorations.